Well, a reading from me is for life guidance, but I guess we should probably start by telling you how I work as a psychic, because every psychic works differently, and you want to find the right psychic for the job, because everybody's got specialties and strong points and weak points. So what I would tell you is that I'm an empathic and audient psychic and medium, and that means that I hear information and I sort of feel information at the same time. That's not the only way I receive the information, but it's the way I receive it best. So, and the information I'm receiving is coming from your higher self, your angels, your spirit guides, what we call that which guides your spirit. It's another part of you. And these guides are there to help you in life, and they're talking to you and helping you through your life, and sometimes you just get a little stuck and you're not hearing them well. So what happens is you get me, I come in and I hear them for you and simply just pass that information along to you. It's your information to do with what you want. I make every effort not to put my ego or opinion in there and just tell you what I hear. I will happily help you try to decipher what that information is and how it's supposed to apply to your life, but the bottom line is it's your information. So if you're sort of stuck in life, or even if you're just curious and you want to kind of do this for entertainment, that's fine as well. But that's one of the reasons why you would contact somebody like me, is so you can sort of explore that higher guidance part of your life and see what it has to say to you. There is another part of the work I do, and that's called medium work. And that is where I connect with those people who have crossed over, those people that lived on this planet at one point and have died, and now they are on somewhere else. Exactly where they go, I do not know, but they go somewhere and they do not actually ever leave, and they are often capable of coming through and speaking to me so that I can in turn turn around and give that information to you. It's important to find the right psychic for the job. If you're looking to connect with a loved one, you want to definitely go to a qualified medium. If you're looking to connect with your spirit guides and your angels to help you figure out what to do with life, you need to go with someone who is more psychic, more empathic, and more intuitive. It's the right person for the right job. You wouldn't go to a podiatrist if you had a heart problem, so it's the same goes for psychics. You want to find the right psychic that can help you with what you're dealing with at the moment. It's very important to me to keep the field valid, to make sure that you get the information you're supposed to get in a way that you can use it. It is not my opinion, it is not psychology, it is not guessing. The information can come through very generic and very esoteric at some points, but your guides are also going to come through with very validating pieces of information as well. And I've used this analogy before, and I'll use it again. If you want to know when your house is going to sell, that's a great question. When is my house going to sell? It's been up for sale for quite a while. Well, I can ask your guides and I can ask the powers that be behind your life when this is going to happen. But the more important question would be to ask, what does this person need to do to make this house sell? Now, most likely they're going to give me some information that you and I both know is general information that helps a house sell. Declutter, change the color, make it neutral, and you're telling me, well, anybody could say that. This is true. But hopefully your guides are going to come through with something very specific, like change the color in your master bedroom. The purple that you have is not going to work. People don't like it. So this is where these sort of general bits of information and very specific pieces of information come through to help validate the source, which is your higher self and your higher guides. That's in general how most readings work, is general information and very specific information that are paired together in order to create a larger, more validated picture. The information that comes through for people is important to know. Your guides are going to tell you what you need to know more often than what you want to know. And that's the case in real life as well. We often just aren't prepared to hear what we really need to know. We'd rather hear what we want to know. So when I do a reading, generally I tell people the first half of your reading is going to be me connecting to your guides and listening to what they need you to know, which is most likely the most important aspects of your life right now. That creates a rapport, it creates a validation of my abilities, and it creates a good basis to start the second half of your reading, which are your direct questions to your guides. And that's the part, what you want to know. Now the answers that come through may be a little bit confusing, and that's okay. That's why we record every session, because what you hear today you might not be ready to hear. You may have to experience something in life before that information makes sense to you. So we record every session and we send you the recording so you can go over it and over it. Sometimes we just don't want to hear things, and that's okay. It may take you 5 or 6 or 20 times of hearing the same thing from different psychics, different friends, and different family before you are truly ready on your life path to deal with that issue, and that's okay. As long as you just hear it and absorb it. Very important to me that if somebody is going to come to me and sort of blindly trust me, somebody they've never met, and oftentimes blindly trust a process that's really not scientific or validatable, that I give you exactly what you need. I'm honored if somebody comes to me and says, can you do a reading for me? Even if they just want it for entertainment purposes, I'm honored that they kind of put a little bit of skepticism aside and said, I don't even really know how this works, but I'm going to go ahead and pay you to do it. To me that says a lot, and I'm very thankful for that. And I'm going to take my time and put 100% of my effort in there to get the information as well and as deep as I can. Every time I do a reading for somebody, it's like I emotionally and energetically invest in their energy as well. So a little part of me and my brain intermingles with a little part of you and your brain, and I take that very seriously. I'm kind of getting into your head, and I don't know you. I don't know if that's a place I even want to go, but I'm going to do it because you asked me to, and I'm going to take it very seriously, and I'm going to take my time and make sure everything is right. When I do a reading for somebody, 90% of the time it's over the phone. I never meet the person. It's just a first name and a phone number. And what happens is about anywhere from, I'd say, half an hour to a half a day before I get on the phone with somebody, I sit down and I get quiet and I make that connection and I start listening, and I write pages and pages and pages of notes about what their guides want them to know. And then when I get on the phone with them, we start going over these pages of notes and letting them validate what's said and letting them explain some of the things that I can't understand, because people's guides will give me information and then they will stop. And I thought, why don't they go into more detail? It's not important that they go into detail right now, because this is something that the client needs to validate, and the client needs to explain, yes, I get that. Or it might even be something they don't need to explain to me the details. All we need to know is they understand. And it's sometimes things are just very private. I don't need to hear the details of a death in the family. I just need to know that there was a terrible loss, and that this is what the person might want to do to get over this. And if they know what the loss is, it wasn't important that I knew it was Aunt Susie and that I knew it was a car wreck and I knew she was drinking and driving. All I need to know is that I need to talk to them about this loss of a female figure. So when I sit down, I have already probably spent a good hour digging into this person's energy before I ever even get on the phone with them. Then I get on the phone, we go over the information, then like I've said in the past, during that second half of the reading, we've already validated the process through the first part, because I've just told you stuff that nobody could know before I even got on the phone with you and started talking to you. Now we can go into the direct questions, because if you just get on the phone with me and saying, I want to know if I'm going to get a job. I want to know what I should do with my career. That to me can sometimes feel like psychotherapy and maybe even a guess. But if we validated the process first, then people are more willing to take some of those direct questions and answers more to heart, even if they don't have quite as much validation as the first half of the reading. So that's the reason why I do what you need to know first and what you want to know second. The only time I do directly what you want to know is if I'm doing a radio show, because there's just no time for what you need to know. And that's when we get the questions, you know, when am I going to get a man? When am I going to get a job? When's my house going to sell? And I don't mind doing it then. But for a full reading, I will do it the way I want to do it first. So hopefully that explains how a reading is done.